All right, so it's getting closer to hunting season. I've been doing some work and I figured I'd make a few videos since I have a chance. Today's topic, Weatherby Vanguard. So, Weatherby Vanguard's been out, oh man, long time now. Vanguard is using the Howa barreled action, Howa 1500 basically. In my opinion, Howa makes a really good barreled action. They don't have a lot of frills. They're kind of an old Remington 700 style bolt. But all in all, they're generally really good rifles. I don't think I've ever seen one come through here that wouldn't shoot about a MOA or better when properly free floated in a stock. So Weatherby picked them up again quite a while ago. It's just a Howa barreled action. Howa also sells just the barreled actions on their own if you ever want to build a gun. It's a decent price range. You can get into a barreled action for $400 or $500 and go from there. I know guys that have done it, and again, generally they've had really good luck with them. As far as I can tell, the only thing Weatherby really does with these is throws a stock on them and puts their name on them. So this one is a 7mm-08. We have spent a couple different time periods this summer working on this rifle. This is one of my brother's rifles, which is why the scope is mounted really high. A for effort though. I'm a low scope guy. And I'll be honest with you, we've had some issues with it. So spoiler alert, I'm not going to say all great things about the Vanguard. So a little bit of history. We've had 3 of them now. I had one in 300 Win Mag stainless. It was not threaded. My nephew has one in Cerakote barrel. That is a 30-06. That one is threaded, I believe, half by 28. I really wish everybody would start threading 5/8 by 24. I know that's hard with these really light contour barrels. I just wish they would flare the barrel a little bit, or they'd put a little heavier barrel on them. It just gets to be a real pain in the butt. And then we have this one in 7mm-08. So again, this one was not factory threaded. It is Cerakoted from the factory. We'll kind of go over some details here. Threading was done by a local gunsmith. Did a really good job. I think this suppressor is going to be on pretty tight. But overall, not bad. I was surprised barrel length on this from the factory came at 24 inches. Seemed a little bit long in 7/08. I'm not complaining. I'm a hand loader. That gives you the opportunity to step them up a little bit, get them a little hotter. You could probably get pretty close to 280 Ackley velocities out of this on a 24-inch barrel. Only ding I see right now on the bluing, it doesn't look like it's going to be picked up very well in this light, is just see a couple spots there. Almost looks like rust forming. There it is. But otherwise, overall, Cerakoting looks pretty good. If I said bluing, I meant Cerakoting. So action on these again, kind of your traditional Remington 700 style 2-lug claw type extractor with a plunger ejector in there. This is a internal box magazine. Magazine works as it should. No issues there. It feeds just fine. I don't really have a preference between internal box magazines and external magazines. I see pluses and minuses of both. Scope right now, this is a Vortex Venom 3-15. So far it's been a pretty decent scope. I don't have any real huge issues with it. I would definitely have put low rings on here. I told him to order low rings. He thought with the size of the scope he would need medium rings, and that's sitting pretty high. So he can either drop that or use a riser. I would simply get a set of low rings and drop that. But again, overall scope seems pretty good. Tracking's good, not a scope video, but we will talk about that. Bolt runs fine. Get a little bit of slop in the back here, but again, in this price range, doesn't seem to have any issues. So that works as it should. Safety on this, thankfully, is a 3-position. I wish every single manufacturer would run a 3-position. So front is fire. I just cleared it, obviously. We'll check it one more time, way up inside there. No rounds. So forward is fire. One back is safe. Won't fire. Can still run the bolt. And all the way back is safe, and it locks the bolt down. Hold on one second. Try and get her back where she was. So bolt is locked, gun is on safe, won't fire. That's the preferred system for me. I was looking at a Seekins today. They don't have a safety that locks the bolt, and for the life of me, I don't understand it. I just don't understand. I know a lot of guys don't care, but there are guys that do care. Why would you not put a safety on a rifle that locks the bolt down? It literally probably cost an extra 30 cents. So credit to Vanguard, or in this case Howa. The safety again works well. No flop there or wobble. It's just very stiff in all of the positions. Again, it's not the most comfortable safe. It's not the quietest safe, but it does everything it needs to do. So I did have a loaded chamber indicator there. I don't know if you've seen it. It'll pop out here. Shows you if you got the hammer cocked in this or not. Recoil pad on this, really good. They did a good job on this. That is one thing they got right, was the recoil pad. Trigger on this is the Howa. I believe it's called the hacked trigger. It's adjustable from, I don't even know what. I'm not even going to take a guess. But the trigger is very adequate. So it's not a Tikka trigger, but it's not bad. Feels good, breaks short, breaks crisp. We'll put a trigger pull gauge on here real quick. See if we can get one trigger pull weight on it. Okay, safety works. All right, so that weight came in about 3.5 pounds. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but that feels about right. It's pretty short pulled. There's definitely some take up, if we can see it. But once you get there, pretty decent break. So I don't feel like that causes any problems when I'm shooting the gun. The one thing that does cause problems is the stock. So stock on these is not free floated. I was looking at some of their literature the other day, just curious why. Like, why on earth in 2025 would you not free float a stock? And they talk about a pillar with constant tension on the barrel, stuff like that, improving accuracy. If I'm being honest, I gotta say I think it's a load of crap, because when you look at the more expensive Weatherby rifles, they're all free floated. So why would you do it on your higher end guns and not your lower end guns? And the only thing I can think is it's simply cheaper for them to put it in a stock and not free float it, which is where therein lies the issue. So like I said, we've had 3 of these. I've had the same problem with this one as I did with my 300 Win Mag. The first 1 or 2 rounds generally go where you think they will, and by the 3rd round the group starts to open up pretty significantly. The Win Mag was really bad. That was a very light contour barrel. Obviously that one heats up or heated up really quick, but I ended up selling that. I just could never get it to hold a decent 3-shot group. You know, you wouldn't even consider trying a 5-shot group with it. So it was, again, a great recoil pad on that, good trigger, decent action, you know, good stainless barrel. But I just don't have 4 to 6 hours to try 1 box of ammunition to try and get something to group well when the barrel heats up. And again, this one's following that same trend, unfortunately. Again, this is a very long barrel. It's a 24-inch barrel on a 7mm .08. It was threaded aftermarket. So now we got a can on there. My brother thought adding the suppressor might help tighten up the groups, which is often the case. And in this case, there was no difference. On a good day, you might shoot 1.5 inch group at 100 yards. And if you try a second one after that, things quickly go downhill. So kind of at that decision point, you know, do we keep it? Do we sell it? I was there with the 300 Win Mag. You know, if the first shot goes where you expect it to, it's obviously the most important shot. You know, is it something you're going to hold on to as long as that first shot hits true? Do you need additional shots? But the reality of it is, in my opinion, it's 2025. I can go out and buy any Ruger American Gen 1, Gen 2, a Howa 1500 that's free floated, and a Hogue stock. Any of those guns are going to shoot better than that consistently, and I just don't know why you would keep a gun that can't even shoot 1.5 inches. So I got a list of ammo here, or a pile of ammo here on the table. This is all the different stuff we've tried out of it. Can't say we didn't give it an honest shot. Norma 708, Hornady American Whitetail, Precision Hunter, Nosler Ballistic Tip, and HSM Tipping Point 165 grain Sierra Game Changer. I will say, of all the ammo that I just showed you, It definitely has a preference for the Game Changer. That seems to be the one it's doing the best with. So I did go out just before this video. I shot a cold 300 shot, which was about 2 inches left of the bullseye, which was good. We got a little wind out there. I shot a cold 400 on the bullseye. I tried a warm barrel 400 at the 8-inch. I was off. I don't know if that was the gun. Again, we got a little wind out there. 8 inches is pretty small at 400 yards. So I let it cool down. I came back to the 400 larger target, put it right on the bullseye again, let it sit for a few minutes, and did 400 on the 8-inch target and got a good hit on that. So, you know, minimum between shots on this thing. Today's a cooler day. That's what's made the difference. It's been ridiculously warm in Minnesota. It's been running mid-80s for a long time. Finally today we have a cool day. Before today the gun just was not cooling down. Today it's a little cooler. We got a breeze, so it was cooling off a little quicker. So really, again, really good cold barrel. I can't say it's not. You know, I would say as often as not I can get out there and make a cold bore hit on an 8-inch target at 400 yards. And I can always generally hit the larger target, which is a C-zone target. So again, 400's tough. You know, you watch a lot of these long-range videos, shooting, hunting, and they're pretending like 400 beyond is a give me, it's an easy shot, and it's just not. That's a load of crap. I can tell you that. I have a 500-yard range at my house, and I shoot literally almost daily this time of the year with all sorts of rifles. In my opinion, 300 yards is pretty much a gimme. You know, you can make a lot of mistakes at 300 yards. You can basically completely forget about the wind unless it's something ridiculously strong. You can flinch, you know, you can misjudge distance 50 yards either way, and you're still going to be in that kill zone on a whitetail. 400 yards is just not the case. Again, that 300 to 400 is where things really start to change. Wind really starts to make a difference. You know, small errors in dialing or in range estimation. So again, anything that hits consistently out to 400 yards is good. It's just, it won't hit consistently warm. It's taken me days, literally days, to go through the ammunition you see here and try and figure out what shoots a good group, because I have to let the gun cool down completely to even give it, a chance at shooting a decent group, which is disappointing. So we do have a third one. Again, there's one anomaly. So 66% of these, 2/3 of these rifles that we've owned, I haven't been pleased with. Again, I think Howa makes a great barreled action, and Weatherby is sadly just messing it up by putting it into a stock that's not free floated. No excuse for that when you can go out and buy several options in the same price range that are free floated. And again, it's sad because it's otherwise a great stock. It feels good. It's got a good butt pad, but it doesn't matter if it won't shoot consistently accurate. The third one, my nephew has a 30-06 Howa 1500. His seems to be maybe a little more expensive. He's got a nicer stock, nicer finish. That one is still not free floated, and for whatever reason, that one shoots really well. So he's taken mule deer and elk out to, I want to say, about 380 yards with that. It's just been a great shooting gun. It's soft shooting. That one's a little heavier, and it shoots everything well. Last year he's using Berger hybrid hunters. We've shot partitions out of it. He shot his first elk with some hand-loaded gold dots back when we couldn't get ammo for 30-06 or anything else. I happen to have some laying around. You can probably see them on the top shelf. Overall, that's been a great gun, but again, 1 out of 3 is not great odds. I hate to say that. I think Weatherby's a great company. I think they make some really good stuff, but unfortunately, the Vanguard for me is a thumbs down. I would not get one unless you can find one somewhere in a properly free-floated stock. Again, just 2/3 disappointment is more than I think most people should be willing to tolerate. If you're from Weatherby and you see this and you think you've got the problem figured out, let me know. Again, this is just one man's opinion. I have no reason to be dishonest. This isn't even my gun. This is what I do for a hobby. People drop off guns and ammo. They ask me to figure out what it shoots well, to tweak stuff, if the scope's loose. Do a lot of diagnostic. I hand load for people. So just trying to put honest opinions out there. Again, I was at Shields today in a big city. They have a ton of these, and I'm just really disappointed when I see them because I just got to feel like the majority of people that buy them are going to be unhappy with them. So leave some comments below. If you have a Vanguard or Vanguards and you're having great luck with them, let me know. It's possible that we just got a couple bad ones out of a huge number of really good ones. I think that's probably unlikely just based on the design of the gun with the really lightweight barrel and the stock making kind of inconsistent contact with the barrel. Again, I know some people argue that stock contact is a good thing, and I think back in the day when they were hand fitting guns to really nice wood stocks, you could certainly make that argument. My son has about a 45-year-old Remington 700 and 30-06. That's not free floated. That gun is an amazing shooter. Unfortunately, that's just not the case with these. So again, hit the thumbs up. You might not like what I have to say, but I hope you at least appreciate an honest opinion. Again, 66% or 2/3 of these we've had simply won't shoot good. Not even sub MOA groups. They won't shoot good 1.5 MOA groups with a lot of ammo. Leave some comments. Like I said, if you're having great luck with yours, let me know. Let me know what caliber it is. Let me know if you've done anything with the stock to help stiffen it up. Unfortunately, in this price range, I just don't feel like it's worth restocking these guns. I'm probably going to keep this gun for a little while since that first shot tends to go true. But I would imagine eventually it's probably going to go down the road because, again, I can go buy Ruger Americans, several of the Savage options, CVA Cascade, and just get a gun that's going to shoot really well, even warm to hot. So disappointed again. Thanks for watching the video. I hope everyone has a great fall, a great safe hunting season. Get out there, practice a lot. Again, anybody that tells you 400 beyond is an easy shot is full of crap, in my opinion. It doesn't take much wind or much of a mistake to start missing deer-sized game at that distance, at least missing the vitals. So all in all, 2 thumbs down. Have a great fall.